Scotland and Spain moved to simplify legal gender changes. This is good news.
This is very good news. We've been talking about Scotland and the work of trying to have gender change and gender recognition sort of fast tracked in Scotland so that people who want to work to officially change their gender will be able to do that in a much simpler fashion. Scotland is the first nation in the UK to make legal gender change easier. And that change can be done in very little time. There's been a lot of studies done on how long that process has taken in Scotland and in the UK, and it's years sometimes before some people, the majority of people, just give up and they don't even bother trying to get their gender recognized.
Mm.
But now we're seeing Scotland making steps. There is a hurdle to this, though. Scotland can do this, but they need the UK's final approval. And that is where there's a huge, huge barrier. There are already talks of people from the UK who are basically saying that there is going to be no allowance for this in the UK, that the UK will not recognize the changes that Scotland is doing, that there will be no accommodations for any of the changes that are going to happen in Scotland. So it looks like this is going to be quite a battle. And Scotland was only able to do this after a lot of problems. There were protesters who broke into the chambers and interrupted the proceedings. Those who were against the gender recognition changes also kept just throwing amendment after amendment and trying to filibuster this thing so that maybe it would just run out of time and they couldn't actually get it passed. But even with all of that, the Scotland legislature decided to pass the gender recognition changes. Now, in Spain, it's slightly different because what this is going to do is without any real barriers like Scotland is looking at, they have passed it from one house going to the second house. And this is going to allow transgender people in Spain over the age of 16 it gives them the opportunity to update their gender marker and name based on a simple request. It won't require paperwork. It won't require any, jumping through hoops. It will not require going before a judge to have it done. They will just be able to go into their official documents place and request that name change. Now, the request for that will have to be verified after the fact, but it will make this completely easier for transgender people in Spain to have their gender recognized in official documentation. Anyone from 16 and up will be able to do that, but people as young as 12 will also be able to do it under certain conditions. So, I mean, we're talking kids as young as 12 being able to be officially recognized for their identity. And Spain is leading the charge right now on this. This is fabulous work for them, and we hope Spain continues to make great examples for the rest of the world to follow.
Yeah, basically, we're at a point where we just need someone to take a lead and to essentially get to a point where we've got some good data on what happens when you do some of these things, because Americans are just so skeptical about these things. They've been so whipped up by the fear mongering that it's hard for them to trust anything. And so hopefully, like, some of these other countries can show, hey, if you do this, the world won't end. There will still be people procreating and doing all the things that you're saying will never happen again if we allow people to identify different ways.